Hi, this is Jodi. Today I'm going to show you how to make this fun fold birthday card. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I did was grab an 8.5 by 11 piece of Tranquil Tide cardstock. And just like usual, like normally I would stick this in my trimmer at 5.5, cut it right here, and I would have 2 card bases. Well, we're still going to get 2 out of the sheet. We're just going to have a fun fold on them. So the trick here is just to line up each opposite corner in the track where the cutting blade goes. Then I can set the arm down and go ahead and cut this piece in half. So now I have 2 triangles, which will each make a card base. Then I'm going to take my scoring blade and put that on the trimmer. And I always want to make my card 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. So I'm going to line this up at 4 1/4 and score it here. And then I'll turn it and go this way. And this one is 5.5. So those scored lines will intersect right over here. I'm gonna set this over here out of the way. And then I'll go ahead and use my bone folder to fold each side in using those scored lines as a guide. And then the triangles will meet there in the center. Okay, so the next thing then is I wanted to use some designer paper on these 2 pieces here. So what I did is I took a piece, and just like always when we have a regular 5.5 by 4 1/4 card front, the next layer in is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. So that's what I did with a couple sheets from the Frosted Floral Specialty paper, and that's here in the holiday catalog, part of the Frosted Floral Suite. So I took a couple of those patterns, got my piece to be 4 by 5 1/4, and then I did the same thing on my trimmer. I lined up those corners and cut so that it gave me 2 triangular pieces. So I'm just going to use my, actually let me show you this up close. Do you see that shimmer on each side? This paper is stunning. Again, it's Frosted Floral Specialty from the holiday catalog, and it's got that shimmer on each side. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this down with some snail adhesive, and this one's going to go on the top triangle. Oops. And, oh, I did not do that very straight. I'm trying to hurry too much, and I need to just take my time. Okay, let's try that again. Let me hold it like this so I can get an even border. Much better. Okay, and then I'll put some snail on the back of this one. Do the same thing. Line it up so I have equal borders. Okay, now the only thing that you could maybe say is tricky about this card, because I hope you feel like this wasn't tricky. That was pretty straightforward. When you add this piece here, you have to make sure that the adhesive only goes on this part, because if you put the adhesive on the back over here, you're not going to be able to open your card. So I want it on this part, which is right here for me. So I'm going to just put my adhesive like that, stick it right there, maybe a little bit higher than center, and then make sure I can still open. Now this I got over a tiny bit, so I can just do that with my thumb and it all goes away. Okay, so that's your position there. And then I added a few of these little pearls. Oh goodness, I should know what suite they're from, and I'm not sure. They're in the annual catalog. You can definitely find them in the embellishments and accents in the back of the catalog. I don't know if they're rooted in nature. I can't remember. But anyhow, I like them, and it's fun to have different colored pearls too sometimes. So these are the greenish ones, and I'm just putting those in each corner just to add a little embellishment on there. And then something else I did fun on this card. First of all, I should have mentioned this is a shimmery white piece of cardstock. I'm not sure if you can tell that. And I stamped that using the stitched all around greeting here, enjoy your special day, and then the coordinating stitched labels framelets. And the detail on here, I just love how some of it's cut out, and then there's a lot of stitching on here. There's just a lot of detail on that focal point. So this is another layer of shimmery white, and I'm just going to put a little bit of snail on this and attach it to the inside of the card. And so because the front has, you know, enjoy your special day, more of the wordy part of the greeting, all I want to say on the inside is happy birthday. And so I went ahead and cut this out with Tranquil Tide cardstock using a Thinlit, and I put some of our adhesive sheets on the back. So in fact, what I did was create a sticker. So now I can just peel this off. It's real easy. It comes off really easily, but you just want to do it kind of slowly and carefully so that none of the little pieces get separated. So you can see how that's a little shiny on the back because it's like a sticker. It's got that adhesive right on there from the adhesive sheet. And then I can easily just press that down on the inside. So that is a super quick and creative card with a fun fold and that little surprise, I think, in the middle, because typically we don't do things like this in the middle. We'd maybe stamp a happy birthday, but this I think is a fun surprise when you open it up to see that special happy birthday. Now, one little thing I wanted to add, this is, you know, my sample that I showed you, looks just like this. But one thing I wanted to add is a fun trick I learned from another demonstrator. It was on my upline on her training, and I can't remember for sure which person showed it to us, but I thought it was a really helpful tip. So this is some of the thicker baker's twine from the Rooted in Nature bundle. This is the it comes with 4 different colors, but it's thicker. And sometimes I do like thicker. If I was wrapping this around something and just tying a knot, I do like the thicker. But to make a bow, I feel like this gets a little bulky because I'll just show you really quickly. So if I was going like this and tying a bow, that knot, you know, gets a little bulky to mail. And so the tip that was shared is that you can kind of untwist a little bit here, and you see that it starts to separate into 3 main groups. Okay, so there's these 3 main strands within that thick twine. Now, if you look closer, you'll see there's 3 smaller pieces in each of those. So when you look at this, at least for me, I did not even begin to think that there were 9 pieces in there. So what I'm going to do is just gently pull one of those through. So now you're left with 2 here, and I'm just going to use this one and tie this into a bow. And it's, you know, I feel like you could use just one of those strands, but that would be really thin, more like thread, where this is more like our regular twine or even our linen thread, where it's just a little softer and definitely lays flatter when it's attached to a card. So if I pulled that up, you know, I could add that there on the center, or I could put it down here. But I just wanted to show you that little tip, and so I thought that was a good place to work that in to add a bow to this card. So I hope you've learned how to do this fun fold card. I hope that you give it a try. I would love to see the projects that you come up with. You can share them on my Stamp with Jodi and Friends Facebook group. If you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that you work with and you would like to have your own copy of either our annual catalog or our newly released holiday catalog, be sure to let me know. I would love to send that out in the mail to you. Thanks so much for watching.